There's so many tremendous scriptures that cover and deal with the name that I want to make sure that we go through them so we can see how this understanding of what it's talking about as far as what it means by the name is much better than what we've used in the past, thinking that it had to do with the actual letters of the name itself, like the name Yeshua. So it's not about pronouncing it, it's about what it means in terms of authority, identity, title, lineage, etc. This is all about who it is and what they're all about. So he's preparing a place for you in his family, in what he's doing. There's a place for you in that organization, in that group. And so the purpose of it is that so that where he is, you would be also. Now we do know in Revelation 21, there's a new heaven and a new earth, and the new heaven comes down, the new Jerusalem comes down from heaven to earth. And so, folks, he's going to be here at some point. And we're going to be with him wherever he goes. You know, it says about meeting him in the sky, it says, and then forever we will be with him. Yes, wherever he goes. It doesn't say we're always going to be in the sky. Let's be careful that we're not adding words to what it says. And the same idea is here in John 14. He says, look, I'm doing all of this so that where I am, you might also be. And so we want to be where he is, wherever that is. Now that may be in heaven at some time, that may be on earth at some time, wherever he is, we want to be with him. He says, if you had known me. Now let's remember, scripturally, when you see that word, it's talking about having a deep and intimate relationship. If you truly knew, understood, and had a relationship with me, then you would have known my Father. Why do people not understand all this? Because they really don't have that kind of relationship with him. They think they do. These are the ones that come up to him and say, Lord, Lord, we did all these things in your name. And he goes, get away from me. I didn't know you. You workers of unrighteousness. You workers of lawlessness. They thought they had a relationship with him. You know, in 1 John, John says, those who say they know him and have that relationship with him and do not keep his commandments are liars. And the truth is not in them. Let's look at that for a second in 1 John chapter 2 and in verse 4. Okay, he says, the one who says, I know him and does not guard his commands is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Doesn't that make sense, though? If you say you know him and keep not his commands, well, obviously, it shows you really don't know him because he is the walking, talking, living Torah. He is the Torah giver from Mount Sinai, so clearly you don't know him. Because if you knew him, you would have the truth, and if you had the truth, you would keep the commands. We're talking about authority. So if you are in my company and I'm president of the company and you are my vice president, we're both human beings. So on that sort of level, we're equal, aren't we? But when it comes to business in my corporation, are we equal? No, I'm president, you're vice president. We're not equal. Well, in the quote-unquote corporation of the universe, the Father's the president. Yeshua's the next closest thing. He's the one and only vice president, but he's obviously not an equal authority to the Father. And that's really important that we understand that. Why is it that we assume the works he's referring to here have to do with healings and casting out demons? Why do we assume that's the works he's talking about? When Yeshua said the reason he showed up on this planet in the flesh, did he say it was to do miracles and healings? Did he say that? Did he say he came to do signs and wonders? What did he say he came to do? To find the lost sheep of Israel. He said, I've not come except for the lost sheep of Israel. Those are the works that he was doing. The works of speaking truth through confusion, teaching proper balance when it comes to how to handle traditions, and encouraging people to walk out the Torah in spirit and truth. Does it make any sense here that if you use the magic Yeshua name, or Jesus when you're in the church, or whatever magic name you think it is, that now the Father has to do, or Yeshua has to do whatever you said? Because see, there's a rest of the verse there. He says, it has to be, what you ask has to be in line with bringing esteem to the Son through the Father. The Father has to be esteemed through the Son. I said it backwards the first time, I'm sorry. It's in order that the Father might receive honor. So if you ask something in his name that is not Torah-based, that is not honoring of the Father, you think Yeshua's going to do it? How come verse 18 doesn't trump everybody's Trinitarian nonsense? How come verse 18 doesn't fix the problems for everybody? This is not another third thing. Yeshua says, I am coming to you. Everything I just talked about, Yeshua saying, all this stuff I'm talking about is me. I am coming to you. But I'm not going to be in the flesh anymore. I am the Spirit of truth. This is the new way Yeshua is interacting with those who love him and believe in him, and all of the other stuff that he said prior to this verse. And I don't mean to accuse or shame anybody in the churches. They've been lied to. But all of them walking around saying how much they have this deep abiding relationship with the Father and the Son, they're lying and don't even know it because they're not keeping the commandments. So I don't know what they do with 1 John, because if 1 John says you cannot be telling the truth here. You cannot know him and not keep the commandments. By the way, where it talks about so that they have joy completed, well then there shouldn't be any more joy. It's the same thing where he says I came so that the Torah would be fulfilled or completed. It's the same Greek word. So forget about joy, he just completed it, it's all done. And see how stupid that sounds? I mean, I hate to be blunt like that. Doesn't it sound dumb? Okay? But you can't cherry pick where you're going to use a word. It's the same word. The word he's talking about having joy be complete is the same word he talks about the Torah being complete. So if one is done away with, then the other is done away with. You see how dumb that is? By the way, you notice he keeps saying, I in them, I in them. That's the Spirit of truth. So that he can be in us. We're not talking about a third separate thing.